Hello, my name is Howard and welcome to my channel. Today we're going to complete a machine from Tryhackme in order for us to learn ethical hacking. So the first thing that we need to do to be able to complete this task is sign into Tryhackme and launch the island orchestration machine. And as you can see, it says it takes about 5 minutes. That's true. And once the machine starts, connect to the VPN. And the first thing I try is a ping to make sure that it's responding. Then once ping finishes, I'll go to nmap. Then minus SV, minus SC on the IP. And just the top 1000 ports to see what's running there. Then I'll run a full scan in a little bit here. But this should tell us what services are running there. But from the machine itself, it looks like we should expect a website. So while the scan is running, I'll automatically go open a browser, paste that IP, and sure enough, Best Tropical Islands is loading in the background. So while the nmap scan is running, you can read around here. All right, you can view page source. But before we view that, let's just click around and see what happens. So if I chose that location there, you'll notice right away, this is a big dead giveaway. Page is equals to that. The obvious thing for us to try is a few injections here. Local file inclusion. And sure enough, guess what? We have LFI showing up here. We can also test things like server-side request forgery. So let's view page source so that it formats it correctly. And what I'm looking at here is any users that might be interesting. So nobody. Users with a user ID of above 1,000 are regular users. So it doesn't look like we see much from the LFI here. So let's check our results from nmap. Oh, still running. Great. Let's try something else. So LFI did not lead me anywhere. I tried a few files, including log files. I couldn't see a lot. So let's try server-side request forgery. So if you say file, etc pass wd, can we see that file? Yes. So this is server-side request forgery, where we're just trying to see if it can expose more information. So if you're interested in learning more about that, I think I have a document for it. Server-side request forgery attack. This is going to be a good article for you. This type of attack allows an attacker to induce server-side application to make requests to an unauthenticated location. So we can pretty much ask the system for like running services to list files using this type of attack. And it looks like it works. So in LFI, maybe it was just a rabbit hole, but SSRF also exists. So we are going to be using SSRF to try to see if we can find more information about this system. SSRF, that's our way. And you always put these 4 forward slashes here. It seems to work. So I always do that. But there might be other ways out there. And we still see the same information. So let's just see if we can find the stuff that is in /home. Where's a home directory? So we got nothing there. Maybe there is nobody there. Let's see if we have any mount /opt. All right, so we can't see a lot here. It looks like we can't see anything. MNT for mount. Let's use mtab. See file systems that are mounted. It's in /etc, like that. Okay. In this case, this is interesting because now we can see that we have Docker that's running. There's a lot of things here. Then the Docker volumes that are mounted here. This is good because then it shows us what the file system actually needs right now as it is running. By just quickly glancing here, I was almost moving away. Look at this file. So we have a Kubernetes secrets, that file. So if we don't know much about Kubernetes, let's look up, Google that, Kubernetes secrets, find out what's up with those secrets. Okay, then it explains here that a secret is an object that contains a small amount of sensitive data such as password, tokens, etc. That's good. We already kind of knew that. Now we just need to know, or how do we interact with those? Because we know that they are there, they are mounted. Last time during the Tryhackme advent of the cyber, in cloud environments, you can actually access secrets if they're mounted in an unsecure way. So I know that I'm going after Kubernetes. So let me do a quick search here. Okay, so Kubernetes SSRF. See if that's even a thing. I see that we can use SSRF. Okay, so after a little bit of research, I found this attacking Kubernetes cluster metadata using SSRF vulnerability. This is not exactly what we have because we don't have a username and password, but it looks like by just using the correct URL and going to the correct instance, we can send HTTP request to a Kubernetes cluster, and it will give us information like secrets and all the information that we have. So let's go and see if we can understand more about these secrets from the Kubernetes documentation, especially how they're used and how they're applied to the containers. So I've not actually worked a lot with Kubernetes. I've seen it before, I've used it, but I need to make sure that I familiarize myself with how these secrets are mounted. And I'm definitely not going to install kubectl on my machine just to interact with it. I would like to use curl. And in this case, we have these things called pods within Kubernetes, which are just like tiny little, for lack of a better word, it's like just like Docker containers, but the Kubernetes style, the smallest unit that they have for Kubernetes. So we need something like a curl command to use for this. But this is how they mount the secrets. It's just like a Docker compose file from what this looks like. And I found a bunch of articles like curling Kubernetes API server using curl. And I saw that there are these things called like service account. And you can explore, if you knew the server, using the API, if you can get the token, of course, which made me think, okay, I need to interact with the Kubernetes API. I need to find out where this token is, because I need to at least get something to work with here. So here is how you can go and steal a Kubernetes token if you kind of knew what you were using. According to this documentation here, since I'm already inside of like a machine, accessing the API from a pod, you can access it directly using this thing here. Here's the actual path that they specify in the documentation. So I was like, okay, I have a path that the secrets actually live. So we saw var run secrets already, but it's something like this. So let's go and see if we can get that token using this path here. But also there's namespaces that are defined. This is how isolation works in Kubernetes. So depending on which namespaces you have permission for that user, you should be able to see things like, more secrets. But in this case, I'm just going to go with the default one that they gave us here. So let's see what it looks like. All right. Okay. I was nervous for a second there because I was hoping it would work. So we're in luck here. We can query for the token using SSRF. And here's the token. Obviously, we can read this to see like how it works and everything. And the easiest way to decode this is to just go to a site like JSON Web Tokens, and you can paste it here. So if you ever get web tokens that are in JSON format, but it's encoded, in this case we don't know what the encoding was, it will show us right away that this is the web token that we have. So it's the default cluster.local, we have an expiration date, we have a service account, name of islands, and then we have a user ID, which is kind of cool. So the namespace, of course, is the default one. So there are custom namespaces that we probably don't have access to as this islands user. But for now, at least we decoded the token that we have. So let's see what else can we do with this token. All right, so according to this article called Curling the Kubernetes API Server, we can actually use the curl command to query more information from the namespaces. Like in this case, they gave us an example where we can actually see the documentation, or we can get logs. I'm not really interested in the logs. I'm interested in other namespaces, because so far the user that I have might have limited access. So I want to see information from all the namespaces. So I'll use the same format that they have here, but I'll modify this to just give me all the information instead of just the logs. Let's see if we can pull it off here. So first, we just paste the syntax, because we really care about the syntax. So we're saying curl, then we put the API server here, which in this case, let's just go ahead and I'll remove this meta stuff, because that's what we're interested in. That's what they were doing in the certs. Let me put my BR token here. This might get ugly very quickly. It starts with EY all the way to here. I'll copy that. So I'll paste my token. Okay. All right, so for our server, this is where we put our HTTP 10.10.21.105. 21.105. So right now it's going to namespace's default pods. I don't want you to go to the pods. I just want to go to default and see if I don't get anything from the default, I'll get the pods. But for now, let's just do a very long one. Okay. Namespace's default was not found on this server. All right. So to make it easy, I'm going to copy this and use Atom to keep modifying it until it works. Okay, so for starters, if you look here, I also forgot, it needs to be HTTPS, because the Kubernetes API is running on a different port than the actual site, and it's on 8443. You would have seen that port from a nmap. So I need to make sure that that port is here. Then I'm running a curl command, sending the authorization bearer token. In this case, I'm looking at the namespaces. So let's modify our curl command a little bit here. Instead of -s, I would like -k. I would like it to be verbose. I already have the header here. So I hope this one works. We are just trying to reuse a command that they were using for logs. All right. I guess -k, -v works. But we have a problem. Our namespace cannot list the resource that we have here. Namespaces API group. So we have a permissions problem. All right, so if we go to default secrets, let's see if we can see the default secrets within Kubernetes. And you can find this information from the documentation. I did a lot of trial and error to get to this location. Just trying to see, okay, which of those secrets can I actually access? So keep adding to this path here until you get to default secrets like I did here. And I think this documentation also shows you. So this documentation here would show you. So we went to default pods. I wanted to go to default secrets. I'm using -k and -v, going to the API, all the way to this path here, see if I can get the secret. And then, of course, I'm just using a bearer token that we store earlier. So if we hit enter, it looks like this time it didn't actually error out. We got more tokens. So here's a namespace. This looks like base64 encoded stuff, and it's token. So we got more namespaces and their token. We have the CRT. Let's see what else we have here. Okay, I see a flag here. This looks like a base64 encoded flag as well. It did say in the documentation that all this is a base64 encoded. So it looks like we don't even have to break into the containers. We see a bunch of namespaces and their secrets. Let's see if we can decode this one, this flag. All right, I got the flag, the Tryhackme flag. So we just take the flag. I guess we're not even going to break into the container. So the process here was very fun. I learned a lot by just doing this and being able to follow along and read a lot of documentation. Definitely what an attacker should do, reading documentation, learning about a new technology, or at least familiarizing yourself with things. So I learned a lot about Kubernetes, and I hope you like and you subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next time with another fun video. Thanks for being here.